The FBI shut down Silk Road, the online drug site. They called that a major victory over drug abuse.
Silk Road generated more than $1 billion in illegal business.
The most sophisticated and extensive criminal marketplace on the internet today.
Because people bought drugs on the site anonymously, Silk Road's founder had bragged, the state is unable to get its thieving, murderous mitts on it. But he slipped up. He accidentally used his real name, Lyn Ulbricht, on an internet forum, and the state found him.
The FBI has arrested the reputed mastermind of a popular online black market for drugs.
Then Judge Catherine Forrest said because Silk Road was a black market of unprecedented scope, she would sentence Ulbricht to life in prison with no possibility of parole ever.
He said, Mom, it's a death sentence. It just takes longer. And he's right. This is for all nonviolent charges.
She and others say it was unfair to lock Ross up forever for a nonviolent crime. But why should we care? Who was Ulbricht anyway? He seemed nice enough.
Pretty sure I want to start a family in the next 5 years.
As a kid, he was a quiet nerd, then an Eagle Scout, excited to go to college. But in college, he became a libertarian, and he wrote, I want to use economic theory as a means to abolish the use of coercion. Coercion, meaning force. He viewed laws against drugs as coercion, force that stops peaceful people from living the way they want. He was right, but many Americans hate and fear drug use.
You're breaking up the social fabric of our country.
They applauded when the judge announced Ross would be in jail forever.
This is a judge who finally got it right.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right. We all agree here on that?
Concur.
Life in prison without parole?
Yep.
Anybody else, any of the wise guys want to do it? That's what you're going to get.
Give me a break. Prison without parole is not going to stop the sale of drugs. We should have learned that from America's attempt at alcohol prohibition. Once you're an adult, if you want to buy intoxicants, it should be your right. Where that's legal, sales are done without violence, and the products sold are safer.
This is your brain on drugs.
Yes, many drugs are dangerous. Some who bought drugs on Silk Road died.
At least 6 people died.
His mother said non-violent guy. No.
Silk Road had some rules, at least, like nothing that harmed or defrauded. No child pornography was allowed.
But now that the government's closed Silk Road, replacing the site with this notice, other illegal sites have opened. And they offer more drugs.
These other sites, I've heard that they're just open season, anything. So they're actually worse and multiple times bigger.
She'd actually never seen them, so we used the web browser Tor to show them to her. It's not like they got rid of these things. Here's another one.
And by the way, Silk Road had 12,000 listings when it was taken down.
The new sites offer more than 100,000.
So I guess they weren't scared by Ross's life sentence, as the judge said.
But law enforcement keeps bragging about successes.
The dark net is not a place to hide.
Here's Attorney General Sessions announcing that they'd shut down another website.
We will use every tool we have to stop criminals from exploiting vulnerable people.
But the shutdowns hardly make a difference. New sites appear.
Now, critics will say, as we shutter one site, another site emerges. And they may be right. But that is the nature of criminal work. It never goes away.
Never. Ever. Heroin. So they didn't stop anything.
No, there was a spike after the sentence was given. It had the opposite effect. It's a travesty, what's going on.
Still, I find it hard to support her son since he was also accused of trying to kill people.
A murder for hire plot.
Trying to hire a hitman.
It's completely digital evidence and hearsay, basically, by the government.
Ulbricht suspects an undercover cop planted those messages.
A mortgage company will not take a screenshot of a bank statement because they know how easily faked it is.
No one was actually killed, and the government didn't charge Ulbricht with murder for hire in his trial.
But let's just say, for argument's sake, that everything is true. The typical sentence for murder for hire when there's no murder, because there were no murders, to be clear, is 10 years. Double life plus 40 years without parole for a young guy who, was a zealot. He was a libertarian. He believed in free markets and volunteerism. He is not a dangerous person.
No American is safer because Ross Ulbricht is in jail for life. He's just one more casualty of our failing drug war. Drug dealers shoot each other, shoot bystanders, and corrupt whole neighborhoods.
Police search warrant!
The police risk their lives and sometimes kill innocent people. Locking up Ulbricht won't make anything better. The drug war does much more harm than any drug.